It is Monday, February 2nd. I am Geoff Schwartz. That is Gabe Goodwin. This is Geoff Schwartz of Smart. Presented by DraftKings. DraftKings, the crown is yours. It is officially Super Bowl week. Gabe and I are here to talk about a little bit of that and some happenings around the National Football League. And then Matt and I will be live at Radio Row on Wednesday afternoon, I believe, for our show on Wednesday. So Matt hooked that up, Gabe, at a DK set on radio. We're going to feel like big. We have 30 minutes only, so we got to get it in 30 minutes.
Ooh.
But I believe we worked it out to where we'd be on the DK set Wednesday afternoon for a Super Bowl preview show. So lots of happenings this week, Gabe. How are you, sir?
That's quite a job producing by Mr. Matt there.
It is.
Have fun on Radio Row. Everything's good here. I got to San Francisco for the weekend. Everything looks fine and ready to go. And then I got out of there. So you guys should be just fine.
Oh, you went to set up?
No, I did not go to set up. I went to Alcatraz with my kids.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if you went to set everything up. I was like, what?
No, I was just
really?
kidding.
I thought you paid people for that. I was like,
I didn't do anything to help you at all. All I did was take my kids to Alcatraz.
We'll get to the NFL and actual important stuff, but my daughter has not gone to school, Gabe. So January 23rd. January 25th was Sunday. We had a snowstorm. An ice storm. And they were out Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, half day Thursday, half day Friday. Then Saturday, it snowed 11 inches. Like actual fluffy, awesome snow. Saturday was a ton of fun, Gabe. It was so much snow. It was the most snow we had since 2004. Fourth most snow ever in Charlotte. But it was like light, fluffy snow. It was awesome. We drove around to a friend's house that has a giant hill. Funny enough, they're from Sweden. They moved back to Charlotte in July. I thought they ditched all the snow. And the kids had a great time sledding. But of course, it has ruined school this entire week. And buddy, it's time to go back to school. I'll go back to school.
Very much time to go back. We don't deal with that out here, not the snow at least.
I know you sent me a picture, and Matt laughed. He talked about it on last show. He loved your troll of me when you sent a picture of the beach last week.
Yes, I sent some other friends back east a picture of my kids in the pool at sunset. We are not facing the same problems you are. But hey, I can segue.
I live in a place, Gabe, that it shouldn't have this. That's the thing, right? Like I chose to live in a place that one snows every 5 years, great. But like I chose to live in a place that doesn't have off days because of snow. That's like my personal choice was to live in a place that doesn't have these type of issues. And we've had them for now 9 days.
Well, snow, which is probably how it is that the Patriots got themselves to the Super Bowl, will not be an issue in Santa Clara. I can just tell you, having been there for the last few days, about 65 during the day. I don't think they're going to be, weather is going to be an issue. The number, which I believe you told me last week, you jumped on Seahawks at -3.5. I now see them at 4.5. So I just want to check in with you. You said you'll be on the DK set talking, props and picks and all the things on Wednesday. But give me a feel right now on Monday of Super Bowl week. Do you still like that you got in at 3.5? Do you see where the number went? What do you think of how it's moving?
Oh, I like it a lot. So here's the thing, it feels like when the matchup got set, the collective NFL world was like, oh, Seahawks going to win this game and they're gonna cover, right? That was like the collective world.
Yeah.
Now we are on Monday, we're 8 days past the championship weekend, or championship game, I should say. And now it feels like we're getting, the Patriots, watch out for them. And I feel like as time goes by, we find ways to talk ourselves out of the wagers we make, right? When you get 2 weeks to make a wager, talk yourself out of it. If I told you, again, on Sunday, after the games were over, Seahawks here by 3.5, I think collectively you'd be like, yeah, sounds good, right? Like, I go back to this a lot. And I've not been wrong about New England. I did call them Fugazi. I feel like I've been right about them. They've won the games they've won, but they're just not as good as I think people maybe want them to be, or as good as Super Bowl teams typically are, Gabe. But they average 18 points a game in the 3 playoff games, and 2 of them they scored 1 touchdown each. Like that's not a typical Super Bowl team, right? They don't have a good offensive line. Their running backs and skill guys are middle of the road at best, right? Just collectively middle of the road at best. The defense, the D tackles are really good. Christian Gonzalez is really good. The defense plays well as a whole, but it's not like a super Pro Bowl, all-pro type team. People will compare this team to the 2001 New England Patriots, right?
Mm-hmm.
And and how that team beat, who they beat that year, the Rams, right? They were sort of
Mm-hmm.
the rivalry. They had Tom Brady though. Now maybe Drake May is Tom Brady, maybe, but they had a bunch of dudes that were going Hall of Fame, and people will also say, "Hey, look, the 1999 Rams, the fastest show on turf, made a Super Bowl and won the Super Bowl with a schedule easier than this New England Patriots team. Look, the Patriots can do it too." And my pushback on that's the same thing. That Rams team, Hall of Fame quarterback, Hall of Fame running back, Hall of Fame left tackle, Hall of Fame wide receiver, Hall of Fame wide receiver. I are the Patriots? Do they have a Hall of Fame left tackle? Is Will Campbell making the Hall of Fame right now? Is Drake May making the Hall of Fame? Is Stevenson making no? That Rams team was much better as a team, and that's what I settle on right now. New England can still win the game, absolutely. Seattle's just better. They're just better. Now, their advantages New England has. I think their coaching staff is fantastic. But I think Seattle's a better team, Gabe. And so I like the 3.5. I'll take it.
Okay. Well, so others are getting in at 4.5. So Bill Simmons chimed in. We know who he's rooting for. But he sort of said what I think all people out there are thinking, if they're not just jumping all over the Seahawks, which is that, Sam Darnold, we're sure we're ready to trust him. He had one good game, and now we trust a guy who I believe led the league in turnovers at the quarterback position, who I have been saying for years is just not good at protecting the ball. He's a bit of a Brett Favre without all the plus side. We are also sort of wiping our brains of what we've seen of Sam Darnold in just anointing the Seahawks the better team. He's not great with the ball in his hands. He makes silly decisions. It comes out a lot. Can't this Patriots team take advantage?
So we're going to talk about the Vikings firing their general manager, and I'll get back to Darnold there in a second, like the bigger picture Darnold thing. So I want to talk about that. But look, my handicap for Seattle this year has sort of been like in the bigger games, I don't trust him because Darnold has shown over his career to not play as well in those big games. Played well last Sunday, Gabe. Probably before that, like he's not showing that now. Can he play terribly in this game? Absolutely can. But their OC Clint Kubiak has done such a good job of giving Darnold an offense that really works for him. Now, proponents of the Patriots will say, hey, look, Christian Gonzalez, their stud corner, put him on JSN. What happens to the offense? Certainly fair, right? What happens to the offense if JSN isn't the guy? But I think it's going to be hard to do that because what they're going to do is move JSN all over the place, right? He scored a touchdown against the Rams as a running back out of the backfield. Like they're going to move him everywhere. They're going to move him. They're going to motion him. They're going to stack him. And you can't either double him or single or man coverage him. Like they're going to find ways to make sure JSN took it open. So can Darnold turn into the pumpkin again? Absolutely. And I will absolutely lose my wager if he does that. But if he just plays like himself, then I think I win my wager and maybe win the wager by a decent amount. I got to imagine that was a pretty confident building game for him against the Rams. It wasn't the Niners game when the Niners couldn't score an offense. The Rams were matching, right? Like this was a very good game by Darnold. I have to imagine he feels good. And look, I've seen him. I don't know if you were a USC fan back then, but Rose Bowl played well. He's shown in bigger games he can play really well. But he just had it. Now all the pieces are in place. The offensive line is playing well. The run game's better now. JSN and Barner and Shaheed had a big catch early on. So it feels to be rounding into form right now.
Yeah. All right. Well, then if it's rounding into form, I want to point out something with a lot of personal bias here. I have my personal bias about Sam Darnold because I'm a former Jets fan and a USC fan. I'm also biased in the right direction for Cooper Kupp. He was the star of the most exciting postseason run I've witnessed since having kids. Cooper Kupp is my son's favorite player. Cooper Kupp, to me, feels like one of those guys who shows up in the big game the way that you're hoping Sam Darnold will. Do you see him being a big factor? Are there some prop bets you like with Cooper Kupp? I just feel like he was a Super Bowl MVP only a few years ago. He's been underutilized all season. He started to come alive late. What do you think of Cooper Kupp in this game?
So Cooper Kupp won the Super Bowl MVP when the Rams beat the Bengals. I thought for a second it was going to be Odell, right? Then Odell got hurt. Like Odell was incredible the first half, right? In that game.
Yeah, but Kupp had the game-winning touchdown. He had two touchdowns in the game. He just helped them in every time you needed a first down, it was him.
So one of the most popular wagers in this heading this weekend is all the Cooper Kupp overs, receptions and yards.
Yeah.
And I don't think he's that guy anymore. Like I think he can be, but the idea people have is that, oh, JSN gets shut down, Cooper Cup's next up. I, I, maybe, maybe Gabe. Um, but I don't think he's been that player this year. Now, can he still get him catches and make plays? Absolutely. But I don't view him as a Super Bowl MVP type guy in this game. Um, it's really hard to win the Super Bowl MVP as a wide receiver. As you mentioned, he got 2 touchdowns. Like it's it's a different type of game you have to have. And I mean, look, I mean, this year you look at like the last 5 games: 3 catches, 1 catch, 2 catch, 5 catch, 4 catch. Like he's just not that guy anymore. He's still reliable when the ball's thrown his direction. He's got what 3 touchdowns all season, including the playoffs. So to me, if you're looking for long shot MVP, it's Shaheed, and it's Shaheed because of a special teams touchdown. Like
Yeah.
that's how he wins it. If you're looking for a long shot, that's who I'd be. And I think earlier this week, last week, he was 50-1 at one point for Super Bowl MVP. I'm pretty sure he's gone down a little bit. Let me pull up just to make sure here. I think he's gone down a little bit for Super Bowl MVP, but that is, I think that is more likely than Cooper Cup winning Super Bowl MVP. So Shaheed right here on DraftKings is now 30-1. It's a pretty wide margin. It's Darnold, May, JSN, Kenneth Walker, and then a huge gap to Stevenson, Shaheed, Diggs, Jones. Cooper Cup is 90-1.
Mm. Well, I'm not sure I'm going to give him an MVP. I'm thinking of him more like, like the Gronk Bucks Super Bowl, where you just like, yeah, this guy's been here. He's done it. He's the safety blanket. Like everyone is watching every second of tape. Everyone's getting as prepared as possible. Just seems like one of those times when the wily veteran is the one who makes the plays.
Look, the Seahawks might need that, dude. Like they might absolutely need that. So, if he played well, it won't surprise me. I just don't know how overall impactful he was gonna be.
All right, well, let me switch to the other side then. There's a lot of talk of Drake May's injuries. He missed Friday practice with a shoulder and an illness, but he'd had the shoulder reported already, and we don't think it's serious. But then the illness, we don't quite know what that was about. And there's a lot of rumors and speculation about all of this. Do you think there's something really going on, or is this like Vrabel doing a Belichick thing and just trying to confuse the injury report?
All right, so I think it was Sunday, maybe Monday morning. Dr. David Chow.
Oh, yeah, you love that guy.
Yeah. Well, um, he got on the internet and said Drake May hurt his shoulder, and he showed a video clip of Drake May hurting his shoulder. He thought he hurt his shoulder. The throw right after that was a pretty bad throw, and then they didn't throw the ball the rest of the game because they were winning and ran the football. Mike Vrabel said everyone's hurt this time of year, blah 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 blah, and then Drake May hasn't thrown at any part of open practice this week.
Mm-hmm.
Open practice is 10 minutes. It's during warmups. I'll say this, Gabe. It would be odd to change your routine in week like 22 to fool the Seahawks. Like, they're going to prepare for Drake May to play. Of course they are. Like, oh, Drake May's not playing now. Let's prepare for someone else. You know what I mean? Like, I have to believe it's somewhat real. I mean, I don't think New England did this with Tom Brady ever. Just didn't have him practice, like an open part of practice. I'll tell you, dude, in 2014, I was coming back from injury. I didn't play all season. And there was debate about where I'd play: right guard, right tackle, left guard, somewhere like that. So I've been out for like 3 months, and they determined I was going to play right tackle for this game. It was Odell catch game. It was my first game back that year in 2014.
Okay.
And I hadn't played right tackle in a while, but it's like riding a bike. Like, you can just do it. However, our offensive line coach decided during the open portion of practice, we don't want the Cowboys to know where you're going to play. So we're going to have you play like left guard during individual drills.
Oh.
And then we're going to switch and go to right tackle during team drills when the media's out of the building. That's fucking stupid. Excuse my language. Like, I'm back off 3 months being out, and my 10 minutes I get to work on individual drills, we're doing a different stance,
Decoy,
and a different part of the team. So the Cowboys don't know I play right tackle, even though that's my preferred position, right tackle, right guard. I started one game in my career left guard up until that point. Like, why would I be playing left guard? Like, it was dumb. It was dumb to change the routine for 10 minutes of open media so the Cowboys didn't know I was playing right tackle. And I could have used that time to get better at right tackle instead of wasting my time playing left guard. So it's stupid. My point is, it's stupid to change your routine for the media to not get wind of it. And so I just think it's probably a problem, Gabe. Now, well, he'll play. He'll be fine, I would imagine. But my point of all this, I don't think Mike Vrabel's doing that dumb thing my offensive line coach did there.
I didn't expect a personal anecdote there, and I just want to say this with respect. Do you think the Cowboys were like, "Oh shit, guys, it's old Schwartz there on the right side. What are we gonna do now?" Or do you? I mean, like, how
No,
much would they have freaked out seeing you over there?
they didn't care.
Right. Like, I feel like anyone they're willing to start at
It's
right tackle's got to be pretty good at blocking. You know, how much tape do they need to watch to figure out how to get around you?
it's just like these coaches, man. Like they play all these mind games. It's so much worse, by the way, in college football. But geez, man, the NFL, like who cares, man? Who cares?
Yeah. Um, I just saw something that I threw over to Sam, but you're kind of taking us behind the scenes as a player, and I recognize you did not play in a Super Bowl. You've been to several of them.
Yes.
Um, if Sam can get this picture up, this is Stephon Diggs arrived in the Bay Area, dressed in I don't even know how to describe this. He looks like he's wearing sort of like a Wookiee costume. Do we see this on the screen? Here, I'll send it to you, Jeff.
I
Why
got this right here.
why do people like we got a whole week of being in front of cameras and being ridiculous and attracting attention. Um, why do you have to dress up in like a Halloween costume when you arrive off a plane? Why can't that just be like
My favorite
sweats?
part is like everyone else in the background is all wearing like team issued
Yeah.
Patriots gear.
But I mean, like, don't you just wear sweats and comfortable clothes when you go on a plane? It's a cross country flight.
I just I don't want to knock anyone's fashion because I'm wearing sweatpants and a polo that's too big for me right now, and I
Yeah.
won't ever leave this gear. But I mean, he's got the purse, he's got the snow boots, the jacket, the whitewash jeans.
But what
I don't
like
know,
what are
man.
we hoping for? Isn't the whole point to be like not attract attention and be comfortable? Like a cross country
Uh,
flight.
you know, do you think he must have taken those boots off during the flight, right?
But
He
then
had
now you
to.
get your stinky feet out. I'm just like, if
I,
you're his teammate, are you like, yo, buddy, too much, man?
I think with
Chill.
wide receivers, you're just like, no. He has an extra pair of shoes here. He must have been wearing those shoes on the plane and then switched to the big moon boots, the puffy furry moon boots. Like legitimately, everyone else on the team looks like they're just wearing Patriots issued gear,
Yeah.
and Diggs is out there and like. My favorite my post game is like, no one believed in me, and he got like one catch, the two catches for the whole game. It's awesome.
Well,
Um,
here's
I don't
why
know,
I
man.
wanted to bring this up, though, Jeff.
Yeah.
More to a football point. And you're talking about routines, and you're talking about what's the point in trying to confuse someone on like 10 minutes of media availability. How disruptive is the different routine of Super Bowl week
Oh,
to
it's
a
big.
veteran player? Like, do veteran players just
Yeah.
roll with the punches? Who does this favor? I guess like a quarterback who's been there, done that, or a guy who hasn't done it before.
So obviously I got to see it with my brother, right? So, Monday night tonight is going to be media night. I would imagine. I think it's tonight, right? You go and we did it. It was in Marlins Park. It was incredible. The Chiefs and Niners do media night. It's on not NFL Network, and then the 10 major players on the team each get their own little booth, and you go to the booth and you answer questions for an hour and you switch out. So like that's different, obviously, right? You're not in your bed. You're at a hotel. And then family shows up on like Thursday and Friday. So you have all this family sort of obligations to deal with during that time. It's a lot different. And, people that are so stuck in their routine, I would imagine, have it's a little more difficult to deal with the change. But you're playing for Super Bowl, right? So you sort of like put that aside and you sacrifice your routine to win a championship.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I wouldn't like having to change my routines. Like whenever I've done anything like kind of difficult athletically, you got to keep me in the routine, man. I'm talking
I
about
really like
like the
changing my
very
routine now.
Yeah,
Man,
just show up and,
oh,
and talk into a microphone. You need your routine, right, Jeff?
yeah. Even now, like I'm seeing videos of there's a media thing like people at Radio Row and Super Bowl, like just
Mm.
even switching your routine for a week. It's going to San Francisco for a week. I did New Orleans last year for a week, buddy. Way too long.
Yeah, well, that could kill some people. At least you don't drink.
Uh,
Um,
no, my other I have family members that do, but I did meet my goal of 10 bowls of gumbo last year in 7 days.
oh, I was gonna ask, is that a 1 day goal or how many days? How many
No,
days did that take?
10 days. 10, no, I mean 6 days. 7 days.
So you were eating gumbo more than once a day,
Uh, yeah, that sounds
or
about
you'd
right.
sit down and be like, "I'll have a gumbo," and then like give me another one and another one.
I forget how I did it, but yeah, maybe one a day sounds about right.
One a day. Okay.
Mm.
Um, all right. Why don't we take a quick break? There's other
Let's do it.
news from around the league that I think we should hit, and including some kind of complicated stories where I don't know your opinion. I'd love to hear it. So let's do that after a break.
All right, back on the podcast, as Gabe mentioned, there are some stories around the National Football League that take us off our maybe our usual cheerful self when it comes to the league. So let's hit some of these now.
Yeah. So there were several vacancies for coaching
Yeah,
jobs. We talked about them the last few weeks, and it appears the final decision has been made. All those jobs are now full. And many people have pointed out, it's pretty obvious, that there are no new black head coaches. People are saying that, this is a
there was
failure.
zero. There was zero. I mean, there was not even
Right.
new black coach. There was zero hired. Yeah,
Well, right. So we end up without one or two, and now
yeah,
no new black head coaches in those open vacancies. So
yes,
now none overall. But more to the point, there was an opportunity for 6 or 8 jobs to go to a guy. The Rooney Rule is put in place to help make that happen. It didn't happen. A lot of people have pretty strong feelings about this, and I don't know how you feel about it, but I guess I'd like to know: do you see this as a failure in regards to the Rooney Rule, or maybe is there something else going on here?
I mean, I, a failure is probably the wrong way to put it, Gabe. The problem is mostly at the lower coaching levels where there's not enough people of color, minorities that are in the offense coordinator role. Like it's that simple. Yes, not every coach hired this cycle was an offense coordinator, but those are most likely to get hired, right? Like Kubiak, Lafleur, Stefanski. I'm blanking everyone else being hired, but like
Mike LaFleur, yeah, Munkin.
yeah, Munkin, like they're all most of the time Joe Brady, they're offensive, not always play callers because Lafleur didn't call plays, but they're young offensive minds. And Peter Schrager put this tweet out earlier, is that like there's just even in this cycle, there weren't a lot of black offense coordinators even hired, right? Mike McDaniel was hired, but he already has been a head coach. Okay. And Eric Bieniemy was rehired by the Chiefs. I'm sure we can find a couple others. I don't, off the top of my head, I don't know any offense coordinators that were hired that were minorities. So that's the biggest thing I see as a problem. And I don't know how to fix that. But the NFL has programs in place for minority coaches to get their foot in the door and start their coaching career, Gabe. But I don't know why they're not picking offense. I mean, there's a ton of coordinators that fit that role. They're on the defense side of the ball. They're just not being hired for head coaches as often as the offensive guys are.
Yeah. Okay. So a couple questions.
Yeah.
It seems like this is a snapshot. This is not a heavily researched thought. It seems like there are a lot of like backup quarterback, guy who was in an NFL QB room but never
Yes.
really was the guy. That guy gets with the right, head coach and ends up being considered a offensive genius one day. That's the Cliff Kingsbury type.
Yeah. I
Um,
mean, that same happened with like Even some of the OC hires, like Sean Mannion being hired,
Mm-hmm.
like third year in the NFL as a coach, Eagles OC.
Right. So there's that type. Then there's the like wonky sort of tape watching, everyone in the building knows this guy's a grinder. He's the secret weapon to coach's big master plan. Like there's that kind of guy. Right? And then there's just the guy who's been doing it forever, like Harbaugh. And, maybe Stefanski's moving into that category. And those guys all do happen to, tend to be white guys. So like maybe it's just about hiring a different kind of thinker or a different kind of leader where you end up with people who look a little bit different. And it really isn't about, it's kind of what you're saying. It isn't about like, do there need to be this many people who look like this, but rather are we hiring coaches from the right kind of background?
Well, that certainly would be a start. So the thing the question, so if you talk to NFL people,
Mhm.
they will tell you that they try to hire the best person possible. Now, we might disagree on what that means and that they don't see color, essentially, right? Like we just hire
Right.
the best person possible. And people swear the league is racist against African American coaches or people of color or minorities. As a player, I didn't feel my coaches ever made a decision based on the race of a player.
Mhm.
I can't tell you what happens at ownership level. I absolutely cannot. Now, we have examples of where it's happened before, right? So like it's not something that hasn't happened before, but like is the Arizona owner, he's never gonna come out and say that, but like are they choosing Mike LaFleur over Brian Flores because of race?
I tend to doubt it, but here's what I guess might be happening.
Yeah.
You hear a lot of reporting, oh, so and so was great in the room. That he killed it in the interview.
Right.
That's a pretty subjective thing, right? So it's
It
possible.
also might not be true, but yes.
Let's go with the idea that when someone says so and so was in an interview, they were great in the room. Let's say that's genuinely true. Great in the room might mean like knew how to talk to the owner in a certain kind of way, or talked about his skills
Yeah.
in a certain way, or played the name game in a certain way, the same way any other job interview works. And so maybe it's not intentional, but it favors a certain kind of person.
That's fair. And I also think it's fair to mention that nepotism
Oh, yeah.
matters a lot, and
Well,
those tend to be from white coaches, right? Like
I
that,
don't know
like
why we don't talk about that more every time the Rooney Rule gets debated. Like, why don't we just look at the fact that every person, like every guy who ever coached in the NFL in the 80s and 90s has a kid who's now a coach, like all of them. And a lot of them are considered
correct,
really good coaches.
correct. But that plays a role. Um, yeah, again, like I think I think it's fair, and people get upset by saying this when I say that there is a problem, right? People, oh, well, just hire the best guy, the best candidate. I'm like, well, to your point, Gabe, like, are they opening up themselves up to having different type of candidates be the people that they want to interview? And they interview all these people, but does it mean that are they real interviews? Are they just satisfying the Rooney Rule? Like, what's the purpose of those interviews? I do think number one though, it's just there's got to be more offensive minded coaches um, that are minorities to start this process. And until that happens, nothing's going to change. Because next year, look at the same cycle again. You're going to have the same names get mentioned to be a head coach. They're mostly defensive guys. There's not many offensive coordinators that fit. All the young offensive coordinators are going to be the guys we just passed up this year, right? The guy from Jacksonville, the Rams guy. Those are the next batch of coaches, and they're white guys. They're young white guys.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, then let's stay sort of in this general vicinity of like
Yeah.
HR, is listening while we talk about this. So the Vikings fire their GM,
Yeah.
a pretty young black GM. Then reports come out that he took 2 weeks off for paternity leave during training camp and preseason a couple of years ago. That gets reported, and then quickly the reporter who put it out there is like, no, but that's not why they fired him. That had nothing to do with their decision. That was just something other teams took note of. That was just the thing about him was that it was odd that he did that, but that's
Yeah.
not why the Vikings fired him. And all the commentary around this has been very weird. And I just want to know, like, what do you make of this? Why was this even reported?
Yeah, it's not why the Vikings fired him,
Right.
but it's a shot at his
Commitment?
dedication,
Yeah. Okay.
commitment. Look, I'm not saying it's healthy, buddy, but that is abnormally large time to be away from your football team after a child is born. Like, that's just a long time. NFL players and coaches and personnel, day or two. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but that's the typical path. Like, my wife was so worried that I wasn't gonna be around for our kid's birth. We like scheduled an induction early so I could see the kid for like 4 days. And I was like, no, 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 babe, it's okay. I'll come home for 3 days from training camp. But that was about it. Like, I could fly home on a Friday, birth Saturday, probably fly home Sunday night. Like, that would have had to be like my window of seeing my child being born. And I'm not rendering whether it's right or wrong. Absolutely not doing that. But that's the culture in the NFL. And so to take 2 weeks off when you're not an established general manager, like if you tell me Brett Veach, the Chiefs GM, wants to take a week off for paternity, you'd probably be like, all right, cool. Like you have your 3 Super Bowls, like whatever, man. You know what you're doing. But especially it sounded like it was during training camp when it's like the most time of the year when you're sort of together as a team and you build those bonds as a group for GM to not be there. I get why it frustrated people. I know that the outside world looks at that and thinks that's freaking crazy that you guys don't allow 2 weeks for paternity. But if everyone else is taking 3 days and one guy takes 2 weeks, Gabe, that's going to stand out. And it's going to lead to questions about commitment. Now, of course, I don't think it affected his job at all. It's during training camp. Like, what's he doing during training camp that's that important? He's got to be there every day. So I agree with him for taking the time off. I mean, why not? But that's the NFL culture, man.
Okay, but wait, I do want to ask about that. I
Yeah.
understand the culture point. Help me understand the job function, though. My sense, from watching Hard Knocks every year, is like that's actually exactly when the GM is busy. The GM probably doesn't have a lot to do week 4. Roster's built.
Well, week 4. So week 4 is about injuries, right? Injuries,
You're
practice
busy.
squad, and you're also starting to do college stuff. But and scouting, like scouting. During training camp, you're just watching training camp practice. Like you're just watching film. Like it's not like you're not making a ton of roster decisions the first couple weeks of training camp. Put it like that.
But what? I thought that was the whole intrigue of Hard Knocks was like,
Look,
we're always
yeah.
introduced to the GM and he's always working nonstop. And oh man, I got to get it down to 53.
Well, yeah, but that's I think that's a little of hyperbole early in training camp. Here's why training camp is important for the front office. So during the season, all the area scouts, the college scouts, are out of the building, right? They're doing their job. During training camp, everyone comes back typically for the first couple weeks of training camp.
Right.
So the whole scouting department is in wherever you have training camp. So the general manager has an opportunity to be with his group for 2 weeks and they watch film together. They learn what you're looking for in a certain player potentially and not looking for a certain player. And that opportunity is to bond and grow as a group. If your GM's not there, that defeats the purpose of all that, right? So that's why it would be more important in my book for him to be there for that purpose, less about like day to day watching film of training camp practice, figuring out who's 53 is going to be.
Yeah. Okay. So it's kind of like any other corporate retreat. Like the boss should be there just to pay for the dinners and make everyone feel good. It's not about the meetings.
But again, it's about the meetings for him. But the fact is, again, like when no one else takes that long, it's gonna sound like a sore thumb. The reason he got fired, by the way, was a couple things, right? One was the drafts were bad, but the Sam Darnold thing. It's no surprise. I think he got fired right after Sam Darnold made a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
The revisionist history on Sam Darnold is pretty bad right now, right? Up until his Vikings, one season, right? He was a castaway. Wasn't very good. He was brought into Minnesota to be a bridge, right? What's that face for?
I'm just, like I would have fired my GM for signing Sam Darnold, not for letting him go.
So he was a bridge quarterback.
Yeah.
He played well. McCarthy gets hurt, and then the 2 most important games of the season, he played terribly. So they're like, of course, like bye.
Right.
Yeah.
You're not building NFL franchise around Sam Darnold in like year 7 of failure. Good for the Seahawks. Good for Sam. Like, okay, great. It's working out. Like, this is like the Mina Kimes, like, getting roasted for a cold take about how she was disappointed they got rid of Geno.
And what's
By the
funny
way,
is Seattle's her team. Like it's such
yeah,
a
I know.
weird. But look, I think it's Fred, right, who runs that account. But they've gone like
I don't know who runs that account.
it's gone like over the top recently, but for
Oh,
sure.
okay. Well, let's shift gears to some easier topics. The Pro Bowl Tuesday, Pro Bowl games, the Pro Bowl competition, the Pro Bowl of TV event, the whatever the hell the Pro Bowl is now. What do you think of it?
So it's very stupid.
Okay.
But the problem is the NFL, the Hall of Fame, everyone, right,
Mm,
uses the Pro Bowl and All Pro voting
yeah.
as a barometer for how good your career is.
Sure.
So that's why I think it's important to not have Joe Flacco and Shadur Sanders be Pro Bowlers, because that's still looked at as a prestigious, career accomplishment, even though the game is wacky and a waste of time. I won't even take a look at it. I haven't watched it in years since it switched to this format. But the fact is, like, when it's time to debate legacies, they talk about Pro Bowls and All Pros, and it seems to matter still. And so that's why I think that's why I still think it matters. You get it right, and you just can't have. I mean, Flacco and Sanders are just not Pro Bowls. Tyler Huntley a couple of years. It's just some of these men are really really bad. And players are declining it. Like Trevor Lawrence, I think, said no. He was like the first all-time for quarterback, just said no. It's just it. I don't know what the answer is, unless you just do like all pro. You just say you Pro Bowler. You don't actually do anything to make like that's the result, right? You just it's no more game, Gabe. Maybe it's a trip. Everyone just takes a Pro Bowl trip. Go to Hawaii, right, for a week,
Or not
and
even.
you make the
Just
Pro.
do an Instagram post.
Right,
Here they are.
correct. Yeah, here are the pro like all pro. Here are the Pro Bowlers. And that way you don't end up with the 17th quarterback is a Pro Bowler, right? And you don't force, Josh Allen to decline with a broken foot, or Trevor Lawrence to say no, or whatever, whatever position you want to use. And then you just say that, you have a first, second team Pro Bowl and you call it a day.
Yeah. Yeah, I wish they would come up with like another NFL combine. Like, get us thinking about the next crop of players rather than forcing a bunch of guys who don't want to be there to do a bunch of stunts.
We had the games at the Senior Bowl and the East West Shrine Game, but no one was paying attention to it because college football just ended two seconds ago.
Right, and they also don't want to get hurt, and we need a competition that actually matters. This doesn't.
Yeah.
All right. We are outsourcing football to France now. I don't know if you saw the news. We are giving France its first look at NFL football up close, and it will be between the Browns and the Saints. I joked that they are going to make us return Wemby because of this. This is bad. Why are we doing this to them? I get it. The French can be rude to us, but why would we send them this?
Because Wemby spoke up last week about American politics, so we repaid him with.
Is this why?
With brown stains.
You weigh in on this, and here's what you get in return. I mean, Browns Saints truly.
Saints might be interesting next year, but not.
Oh, stop.
We're gonna end up with an international team, aren't we?
The Jets should move to London, I would say. Maybe they thought Shadur was a French name, and they're going to try to get him some French.
How did you see what felt very forced, like Todd Monken meeting Shadur Sanders? It was, I don't know.
Oh, he met him? I thought that Acho said they shouldn't talk to each other. I thought that was an interesting take by our friend Acho.
There was another take on TV about basketball the other day. I think it was Antoine Jameson said something like, I think it was him who said something like, Cooper Flagg would be like the sixth best freshman in college basketball. And after he scored 49 points in the NBA, the night after he scored 49 points, and I just thought to myself, I'm never going to do TV. Like I can't bring myself to say that stupid shit. And to be fair, Gabe, I don't want to leave the home, so it's fine. Now, if Fox called me and was like, you can do first things first, sign me up. I'm in. I'm in with those guys. Anytime they want to do it, sign me up for that. But like, I just like, I'm never gonna do TV because I can't say stupid shit like that. I can't say those things, Gabe. I do not believe.
Okay. So you're saying that you think that Shador Sanders should listen to his new head coach, the guy
I
who's
think he
won a
should,
national
yes.
championship and helped other guys become Pro Bowlers? You think he should listen to that guy?
And then I like Acho, but then he put out a video like about how like Oprah endorsed him. We get it, but that doesn't mean your take is right.
Yeah. I like Acho personally, but that was one of the weaker takes
Acho's
I've
great.
seen.
Acho's cool. I don't mind Acho. We're friends. It's fine. You can have a dumb take, but like, the thing is, I don't think he's stupid. I mean, people are like,
No,
he's an idiot. He's not stupid. He knows what he's doing.
he's
He's
very
very
smart.
bright. He's made a great career for himself. But
Very
that
smart.
was there's a very stupid take.
Stupid take. Well, my job around here is to have stupid takes, and I have one or two left. So let's take a quick
Okay.
break, and I'll give you a couple stupid takes on Bill Belichick and your favorite movie.
Yes. All right, Gabe, we're back here. Last thoughts as we move on to Super Bowl Wednesday with Matt. I did call over to our softball commissioner today and ask him if we had some we could do game changer. He said sure.
Hmm.
And I found out we have a softball pitching machine, which I didn't know because our coach never used it. So we've
Oh.
had one. Never used it. And I was like, can we like I don't
Two
want to pitch.
improvements, technological
Yeah,
improvements, courtesy of
already
Coach
done.
Geoff.
Already done. Already done. Let's go.
Well done. Okay, so just a few days ago, the whole world fell apart because, God forbid, we not all bow down in reverence to Bill Belichick. Some daring souls privately took it upon themselves to not vote for him. It is a vote. They chose not to vote for him, and then everyone in football media freaked the F out. And I'm here to say, good on those people. Okay? Like, that's why they get a vote. I'm sorry for him, it didn't happen. But there is a real good argument to be made, and a few of them were willing to go public and make it, that voting for this guy on the first ballot didn't make sense to them. I don't understand, Geoff, why we have to groupthink this thing every single time.
No. The problem, Gabe, is that you could vote for 3 of 5 candidates.
Uh-huh.
The other 3 candidates are not Hall of Fame caliber that Bill Belichick is. So you to me, you can't do the thing where you say, well, we'll get him next year. I'll vote for him next year. No, like Ken Anderson is not a Hall of Famer compared to what Bill Belichick did for the NFL. People voted for Ken Anderson over Bill Belichick. That's a wrong vote, in my opinion.
I'm not here to cape up for Ken Anderson, but
I think what's his face should have been in too. Robert Kraft.
okay. Point I'm making is like, why do we have the voters there because they have a different view on things. They have a different system.
It's still wrong.
What does it not matter that the man was punished multiple times for being proven to have been cheating. And
Okay. Oh,
there
geez.
are also a number of accounts that were not reported, presumably, that these exact people, his peers and the people who covered him, probably have heard rumors for many years of all kinds of shenanigans that was going on, and they couldn't ever do anything about it. And now they're like, yeah, you know what? You're going to have to wait. Isn't that possible?
It's possible, except Jimmy Johnson came out and said, "Yeah, we did Spygate too."
Jimmy Johnson
So,
said, we also cheated, so what's the big deal? I don't know that that's a great defense.
I feel like everyone was doing it, and Bill Belichick was the one who got eventually caught the most because his coordinator went to the Jets and was like, "Can you please stop doing the thing that we know you're doing,
Yeah.
and that everyone else is doing too." And he didn't stop, and they got in trouble. I don't know, Gabe. People that played against him during that time period also said he should be a Hall of Famer. I played against them in his heyday. I don't think that made a shred of difference in the games we played in New England in.
But okay, except that Why does everyone feel they have to say he's that good? Like, you can make an argument that he's a bit overrated. People can say that. It's okay.
Okay, we're this game. Your hatred for New England and the Patriots is starting to creep in a little bit too hard on the show.
Okay. Well,
It's your boy Colin defended. He defended the voters.
oh, did he? Good.
He also had Lincoln Riley on today. Can't wait to hear how that was.
Okay. I'm not gonna bore your audience with my hatred for the Patriots, but I do
You
think.
do hate them a lot.
Well, look, man,
You
his
might hate them more
record
than I hate like the Dodgers.
his
Like,
record without Tom Brady is not good. His
okay,
record with Tom Brady is obviously all-time great.
yeah.
But during the time that he was all-time great, he was proven to have been cheating. So you have to put like a little asterisk on that as well. So not great without Brady, great with Brady, but proven to be cheating. I feel like a few people might be able to say, I'm not voting for you on the first try. That's it.
Well, it obviously happened, and now I just, I just think it was just a missed opportunity with the Hall of Fame. Like now, forever, we're gonna have to hear about him not making the first ballot, and I think that it just was a tactical error. Like the system has to be changed to where that doesn't happen again.
How about we don't know if
Like
he'll ever come? He might come back and coach again.
he's not. Mike Leach, Mike Leach was not eligible for the College Football Hall of Fame, right? He the eligibility standard was 60% win percentage, right? And he passed away at 59%. And the Hall of Fame was like, yeah, we got to change this. Michael should be a Hall of Famer. Like that. Sometimes you have to make changes, Gabe, when things don't go like they should. And Mike Leach is I think he's in the Hall of Fame now because, of course, he's a College Football Hall of Famer. Like, not even debatable. Like, of course.
Well, I'm not going to take the side that Mike Leach should not be Hall of Famer, but
my point
someone
is
could.
that very, very clearly, Belichick is a first ballot Hall of Famer. And if the process is so bad where people felt like I could vote for 3 other people instead of him, then the process is bad.
Well, I think the process needs some work. I don't think I should.
Because did any of the contributors get in besides nobody, right? None of them got in, right? You need like 40 votes.
I think he needed 40 out of 50 to get in, and there were 5 of them available. So nobody's odds were great. I assume Belichick got the most of the votes, and some people held something against him. I don't know Kraft's status, actually. I would say that Kraft getting in when Belichick didn't, that would feel weird to me. I wouldn't.
So
that was
okay,
good.
so is Tom Brady not a first ballot Hall of Famer because he played during that time too? Did he get punished the same way?
Well, no. See, the reason I feel like Brady is different, and I clearly anyone who's listened to this show knows I have no good feelings about Tom Brady. They only ever won while he was there, and he won when he left. So even if he benefited from some shenanigans, and we're certain he did, like he only ever won. There's no part of his career where he wasn't a winner. So I have to admit, like, okay, I hope one day Patrick Mahomes wins more rings and is considered better than him. Just that's what would be my preference. But I got to admit, like Tom Brady, even with some gates in there, is a Hall of Famer, of course.
How much does it pain you that Tom Brady's got a lot better at calling football games?
I told you the second I saw that demonstration with the ball in the wind, I was like, God, its tipping point has arrived. He's now going to be somebody people say they like. And it was that moment, Geoff. I saw it the second it happened.
And you knew it was going to happen. Come on.
I knew
it was going to happen. You know people there at Fox. You knew he was going to get better. Come on.
I didn't know he would put the time in to get better, but he did.
Why? He's a Hall of Famer. Of course he would. He's so vain.
He's got plenty of things to do instead. I didn't know he would put the time in, but he did. Obviously, he's a competitive guy. He didn't like being called a loser or
just
lesser
can't wait
than.
to start producing some of his content one day. It's going to happen.
Don't think it will. All right, last one. Speaking of goats, your all-time goat movie is getting a sequel. Devil Wears Prada 2 coming soon. What do we need to know, Geoff?
Matt and I spent way too much time on this. Did you listen to the Bill Simmons 50 Rewatchables podcast?
No, I don't know what you're getting at.
Oh, he did his top 50 rewatchable movies of this and century. He put Devil Wears Prada 1.
Devil Wears Prada is Bill.
Number
No,
one.
dude,
I
no
was
way
so
that's
happy.
true.
Oh, so yeah. Limitless is like 14, by the way, on his
That's
list.
gaslighting, man. There's no way on earth Bill
He
Simmons
said
would
so.
rather
Okay,
rewatch that
no,
than
no. Here's the
another
thing.
movie.
No, this is the thing. It was which movies has he watched the most? Like his top 50 most watched movies. He said with his family. He said his family's favorite movie. He said he watched this movie the most of any movie in this century.
I don't believe that. I'm sorry. I I feel
When,
like he's watched the movie Heat more times than anyone else.
yeah,
I
no,
assume
but he was in the 90s. So it's since 2000, last 25 years.
The Departed happened in that
Departed
time.
wasn't, I don't think I think Departed was four for him. The list is pretty funny. Like I said, the
Can we get the? Can
Limitless
you read off
being,
the list to me? I'm
yes.
getting very angry now. The
Okay.
Belichick
Here it
thing
is,
was
right here.
supposed to be the part where I get angry. This is making me
Okay.
really pissed.
Ready? So Devil Wears Prada's one, Social Network, Anchorman, The Town, Departed, Miami Vice. I've never seen Miami Vice. I have no idea. Hangover 7, Superbad, Taken, Step Brothers, top 10.
Okay, so I don't believe for 1 second that Bill Simmons has watched Devil Wears Prada more times than Anchorman. I'm sorry, I do not believe that. Or Step Brothers. I just don't believe that. I'm calling BS on that. I don't care. Maybe it's a better movie than I realized. That seems like a movie that you watch. You're like, wow, that was actually pretty good. And then it comes on 5 years later and you're like, yeah, I'll watch it again. Why not? You don't seek that movie out multiple times.
Dude, that's what, again, he has movies I've never heard before. Before Sunset, no idea.
I think that might have been a Casey Affleck movie.
Spotlight being 14 is kind of high. I don't know. Is Spotlight rewatchable? Like what?
No, not. It's long and slow. It's a very good movie, but
yeah, it's great.
Not rewatchable.
Limitless was 16.
No, come on.
This is the End is 17.
This is the End is a great movie. I could rewatch that.
Dude, it's This is the End is so funny, dude. When the monster comes out, spoiler alert, and just the giant thing is just swinging back. I'm like a child. I laugh so hard.
That movie is insanely rewatchable.
Sicario being 41 was surprising. I thought that'd be a lot higher.
I don't even believe in the premise of this. There's no way Bill Simmons has watched 50 movies multiple times each. He doesn't have time for that.
I don't know, man. That's what Devil Wears Prada.
I have never even seen Devil Wears Prada, let alone more than once. But Sicario, I've seen. It was fine. I've never rewatched it. I don't have time for that.
Tell me what the list is. So, do you have to watch the first one for the second one? Yes, you have to watch the first. At least according to the trailer, you would have had to watch the first one.
Is Anne Hathaway in it?
Yeah, they're all in it. Emily Blunt, Anne Hathaway, Meryl Streep, Tucci's in there. They're all in it.
I didn't know any of those people were in it in the first place.
I think it's like Emily Blunt's first huge feature film. I think.
Yeah, she's not bad. I like Emily Blunt.
I think she gets to use her actual real voice, which is good for her.
Yeah, she never gets to do that.
Yeah.
All right, I'll tell you what.
Yeah. I think her first big movie was Devil Wears Prada.
All right. Well, here's what I'm gonna do, Jeff. I'm gonna watch this with my wife.
Okay.
I'm gonna get credit for being a nice guy and wanting to watch
the first one.
Yeah.
Has she seen it?
Yeah, she's seen it. She's told me to see it thousands of times.
Everyone likes it, but you.
She said the same thing you've said, which is you'd be surprised. You would really like it.
That's what Bill's thing. Bill's basic summary of the movie was there's something in for everyone. It's just never going to get old the way they filmed it, and just there's something for everyone in the movie.
Well, I'm gonna watch it, and then I'm ready for 2, and maybe we can, on the same weekend, we can each go see it and come back and talk about it because soon we're gonna have no football, so we're gonna have to do that.
I think it's the weekend of the draft, which is even funnier.
Right.
Are you gonna watch it tonight, or are you gonna wait till Saturday night, date night type of thing?
Probably not tonight or Saturday night, but I'll get it in there. I'll get it in before the game.
We, by the way, have softball tryouts February 14th, 2 weeks from now. So I
Happy
need to get my
Valentine's
movies
Day
in.
to you, Jeff.
I need to get my movies in now before that consumes my life.
All right. Nice talking football with you.
Yeah.
Enjoy your time on Radio Row with Matt. And
Should be fun. Yes.
go
I get to
Seahawks.
write off my whole trip. Now I get to meet
Attaboy.
with Matt.
Attaboy.
All right, buddy. Good chat. We'll be back on Wednesday, everyone. Maybe we're that Thursday. I don't know. We're going to do it Wednesday. Talk to you guys then. Bye, guys.